what I would like to ask you is that how do you see the world, and especially the world of science, 25 years from now? And what do you think they should do to make them successful in that world?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think first and foremost, what has happened is that we are also living in an exponential world today.
Yes.
The changes are exponential. What we have today, we could not have predicted even 5 years ago.
Yes.
Take ChatGPT. 6
Who
months
knew
ago,
about
we
it?
did not-
Yeah. Who
no,
knew
no.
about it? Yeah.
And they have created a record by getting 1 million customers in 5 days.
Yes.
And 100 million customers, the fastest ever.
Yes, that's
So
true.
as to say, you know. So therefore the changes are so rapid, it's very difficult to predict. But there are some fundamentals which will remain. I think the fundamentals will be the 3Ds. 3Ds being digitalization, democratization through decentralization, and finally decarbonization. These three. And under these there will be various technologies. Okay. Hopefully all the effort that we are doing today on clean energy and climate
Yes.
would result into sort
Yes.
of a better sort of
Yes.
this thing. So I think as far as the new world is concerned, it will be dominated by these diseases. There is no doubt about that.
Yes.
All right. And democratization also is an obvious sort of process. Democratization of wealth, for example.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
As we know right now, because again students are listening, let me say this, that there is what is, I mean, there is a startup movement now, okay. And very quickly, as you know, exponential.
Yes.
We
Yes.
had in 2016 just 450 startups. Today we have 90,000.
Such a steep.
That's steep.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
only that, until 2016,
Yeah.
we used to have one unicorn. One unicorn, for everybody's information, is $1 billion market cap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In 2021, we had one unicorn not per year but per week.
Yes.
Almost 44,
Yes.
not
Yes.
52.
Yes.
44. But the good news for all of you is that when I did an analysis, I found 50% of that actually comes from not IITs and IIMs, but from tier 3 cities, tier 2 cities.
That, I think, is the potential that all the youngsters can really display or show.
Yes, absolutely. So technopreneurship,
Yes.
technology
Yes.
entrepreneurship. You don't have to seek jobs. You can
Yes.
create jobs.
Yes. Yes.
And so on. And you can just imagine poor farmer's son, 27, 28, having a market cap of $1 billion coming from
Yes.
Shivapur or a Khed or
Yeah.
Amravati
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
such a village.
Yes.
So
yes.
this process, the digital transformation, see, I distinguish between digitalization and digital transformation.
Yes.
Because digitalization is doing some part here. There is a total transformation
That's true.
of the
That's
system
true.
that is taking place. I think I can see that in sort of 30 years' time that is basically happening. I think most important point I want to make is that if you look at the society, the first society was hunting society. Then came agriculture, then came industrial, then came information society. So society 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
Yes.
Society 5.0 will be in existence at that point in time.
Yes.
And my only hope is that then we are not just talking about an augmented humanity, but augmented humanism, so as to say, creating that particular
Yeah.
sort of balance.
Yeah.
And therefore, it is going to be a very interesting interplay with the dominance of technology. Like, people talk about metaverse.
Yes.
I gave a talk as Sir Louis Matheson Distinguished Professor on metaverse or metaverse, WRSC.
Oh.
Don't
yeah.
forget that other part of it.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you have, when you are creating an identity that is not you, if you really start believing in that
That's
and
true.
live that,
That's true.
what will happen to the sort of, so customized identity has its own interesting part that you can
That is
forget
true.
about
That is
your
true.
drudgery and go, but also that. So I
Yeah.
think that society so advanced that that particular balance will be important.
Yeah.
The last point, as I said, there are certain things that will be permanent. I like to end by giving what I learned in my 80 years. And I learned more by failing rather than by succeeding, I would say. What are those 5 lessons? The first is aspirations are your possibilities. Second part is purpose, perseverance, and passion. The third part, like I said, you keep on knocking on the doors and they don't open. Create your own doors.
Yes.
The next one is that, if someone says it cannot be done, look at it as his problem, not your problem.
That's true. That's true.
That is sort of the point. And the last point is the following, that there is no limit to human achievement, there is no limit to human endurance, there is no limit to human imagination, excepting the limit you put on yourself.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
matter what you achieve in life, you have to say, my best is yet to come.
Yes.
So my suggestion will be, I don't know the age of the audience, but let's say 15-year-old, you will say every day in the morning when you get up, my best is yet to come and it will come today. And do that if you are 25, 35, 45,
Yeah, yeah.
85, and do it till the last day.
Yes.
So every day in the morning you say, my best is yet to come, not only for me but for the society and nation.
yeah.
And 1 billion plus people do in India, where will India be? Right up there in the Committee of Nations.
Very, very.
These are my 5 Mashelkar mantras.
Very